Hello, BookTube. I thought I would drag myself off my snot-encrusted sickbed to do at least a couple of videos to start the new week. Because you can't go without me just because I'm going without any kind of health or happiness. Don't worry about me. I'll be fine. I thought we'd at least go through the first mail haul of the week. It's a nice pile of packages. It ends in a barrage of boxes. So let's go through these and see if there's anything that'll pick up my ailing spirits. Snot flowing out of me like the Mississippi River. Anyway, let's see. Let's see what have we got here. Okay, all right. This is a novel. This is a translated novel. It comes out in early November by one of the first authors I ever talked about on this channel. This is The Colonel's Wife by Rosa Lixom, translated from the Finnish by Lola Rogers. The Colonel's Wife comes out in the first week of November. In the final twilight moments of her life, an elderly woman looks back on her years in the thrall of fascism and Nazism. Both her authoritarian tendencies and her ecstatic engagement with the natural world are vividly and terrifyingly evoked in The Colonel's Wife, an astonishing and brave novel that resonates painfully with our own strained political moment. I'm not saying that that's wrong, but it is so hard. It is so hard to know in 2019 that when anybody, not just a book publicist, but anybody, when anybody mentions fascism or Nazism, they're immediately going to allude to America, to the United States. At once complex and hideous, sexually liberated and sympathetic to the darkest of political movements, the narrator describes her childhood as a daughter of a member of the right-wing Finnish Whites before World War II, and the way she became involved with and eventually married the much older colonel, who was 30 years her senior. During the war, he came and went as they fraternized with the Nazi elite and retreated together into the deepest northern wilds. Okay, great. Well, Rosa, I didn't know this. Rosa Lixom was born in a village of 8 houses in Lapland, Finland, where her parents were reindeer breeders and farmers. Wow, I didn't know that. All right, so this is not 2020 fiction, so it's not going, outside the realm. It is going on the back burner, as I'm going to deal with September and October 1st. But that sounds interesting. And this comes out, I think it's a paperback. I think it comes out as a paperback when it does come out. So, great. All right, we're off to an interesting start. World War II fiction. All right, so let's see. Let's see what this next one is. Oh, I think we saw this already. I think this is a finished copy of something we saw already. This is Darcy Denigan's Slater Orchard, an Etymology. An intensely personal, surreal imagining of how humans might survive industrialization. In Slater Orchard, a cleaning woman navigates a half-imaginary world ravaged by industrial waste and pollution. As she labors to grow pear trees in a dumpster, appearances unravel around and within her, and the orchard becomes a burial ground. We begin to question both the reliability of the narrator and of consensual reality. Okay, so this actually came out as a trade paperback a while ago. This came out on September 10th, and it's now almost October. So it's a little late getting to me, but that's all right. I'll have to check and see if I had I believe I had a copy of this already. I think we've already seen it. All right, well, let's move on. We'll do some cardboard here, and then we'll move on to the boxes. See if the baby wants. No. Oh, fantastic. Oh, great. Okay, this is the folks at Minotaur Books. They're great. Mystery House. They do mystery novels like nobody's business. And I was hoping I would get this. This is the paperback of Jessica Fellowes' Bright Young Dead. A murder mystery series actually starring the Mitford girls, which still strikes me as funny. They are the least likely, the least believable murder detectives imaginable. But Julian Fellowes, author of the New York Times bestselling Downton Abbey companion books, returns to the world of Upstairs Downstairs in the next installment of her Mitford Murders series. Bright Young Dead brings back Louisa Cannon, chaperone to the Mitford girls. Fellowes has created a mesmerizing read that harkens back to the golden age of crime fiction. Meet the bright young things the rabble-rousing hedonists of the 1920s whose treasure hunts were a media obsession. One such game takes place at the 18th century birthday party of Pamela Mitford, but ends in tragedy as cruel, charismatic Adrian Curtis is pushed to his death from the church neighboring the Mitford house. And then the new Mitford book, called The Mitford Scandal, comes out in January. Really hoping that's headed my way, that's for sure. Great, so this paperback of Bright Young Dead comes out, is out now. It comes, the date on it is September the 24th. That's long since come and gone. So, if you see this is $18 paperback, very nice floppy paperback. If you see it at your bookstore, it gets Steve's thumbs up. It gets my seal of approval, even though you're going to be giggling. The more you know about the Mitfords, not necessarily all of the Bright Young things, but the Mitford girls themselves, the more you know about them, the more you're going to giggle just a little. All right, what have we got here? What is next? One of these adhesive boxes. Gotta tear it to shreds. Don't want it sticking to my little bean. My little bean, who gave me quite a turn first thing this morning. Quite a turn. She has, on our walks, she has been impulsively curious about acorns. Trees have been shedding just carpets of acorns everywhere, all around the neighborhood. And she's been curious about them because when one falls, they're falling like crazy when we're walking around under trees. And when they fall, they hit the ground with a crack that you can hear easily, and then they roll. Unless they hit an absolutely level ground, they then roll. And rolling means motion, and any motion gets Frida's intense attention. And so I've noticed her paying attention to these things, and even a couple of times picking one up in her mouth. And I bent down and removed it from her mouth and sort of cautioned her because it's, she could choke on it, is what my thinking was. And unbeknownst to me, she must have got one. Because this morning, first thing, she was on the bed, we were canoodling and talking, and suddenly she started going boop, boop, boop. And I thought it was just going to be a little bit of bile. Sometimes, dogs have such active metabolisms. Sometimes, if they're hungry, they'll bring up a little bile, and it's no big deal whatsoever. It doesn't. They don't even remember doing it. It doesn't traumatize them in any way. And so I thought, of course, whether it's trivial or not, I don't want bile on the bed. So I gently picked her up and put her over on the wood of the floor, which is easier to clean. And a little bile came up, and out popped one of those acorns, unscratched, completely normal. She swallowed it whole. So the experience was momentarily disquieting for her, and I made sure to show her the acorn in hopes that she will figure it out. That's my standard refrain with Frida has since she was a little puppy has been Frida will figure it out. I don't need to explain much to her. She, unlike my Lucy, for instance, who never figured anything out. Frida does. I'm hoping that this puts an end to her exploratory eating of acorns. Anyway, okay. We've already seen this too. This is probably these boxes are also finished copies. This is coming out in late October, and this is Karen White. This is the Christmas Spirits on Trad Street. We just recently got the advance copy of this. Here's the finished copy. A new edition, a new installment in her beloved Charleston set Trad series. This one takes place 2 years after the Guests on South Battery, and in which the quirky, donut-loving, schedule-obsessed heroine Melanie Trenholm returns. Finally married to true crime best-selling author Jack Trenholm, they are living in Melanie's historic home with their 18-month-old twins and Jack's 15-year-old daughter. But domestic bliss can't last forever. A new passel of spirits have taken up residence at 55 Trad, and they need Melanie's help to right old wrongs and solve a mystery. Which is... it sounds like good, cozy mystery fun. I will generously include it in cozy mysteries, even though it should be science fiction, because of course there are no such things as spirits. But that's okay. Certainly there wouldn't be the first murder mystery series that trucked in the other world. So now we do the boxes. Let's see what we have for boxes. See if we can find anything Several interesting things so far, but nothing squeal-worthy. Not for me, anyway. Nothing that really accounts for hauling myself off my deathbed. Let's see if that will. Okay, well, all right. You're certainly trying. You're certainly trying very hard. This is by Jacqueline de Romilly. It's translated, I assume, from the French, by Elizabeth Trapnell Rawlings. Yes, translated from the French. This came out originally in 1995. Good Lord. And this is The Life of Alcibiades, Dangerous Ambition and the Betrayal of Athens. Very pretty thing. Skinny, of course. The Life of Alcibiades. How do you like that? This is from Cornell University Press. And it has a blurb from the Review of Greek Studies, translated from the French. Jacqueline de Romilly's astonishing study of Alcibiades succeeds in arousing in the reader the same feelings as those undoubtedly experienced by the Athenian public before this extraordinary person. Her book inspires not only wonder at Alcibiades' varied talents and admiration at his ability to seduce those around him, but also anxiety about his ambitions and fear for the risks he takes. With its sudden reversals, victories followed by terrible defeats, resounding success, as well as the most bitter failures, Romilly's book possesses the color of an epic, with accents of tragedy. No mention there, epic defeats and victories, successes and failures, no mention of treason, which is kind of odd, since that goes hand in hand with the name Alcibiades. He never met a cause he didn't betray. But this certainly looks really good. I wish I had some information on it. All I've got is an invoice. It doesn't tell me anything that I want to know. In fact, it tells me a lot of stuff I don't want to know. But it's a finished copy, so I'm assuming that it's coming out this year. I'm assuming that it's got a date. I'll have to look it up and see when it comes out. But I doubt very much that it's a 2020 book. I think I'm free to read it right away. And there's very few classical biographies in 2019. Very few. So I'm always happy to have another one. That's for sure. Let's see what this next one is. Oh, fantastic. All right, this must be the finished copy. Yes. Oh, fantastic. All right. This is from Princeton University Press. This is the selected poems of Giovanni Pascoli. This is translated by Tej Silverman and Marina Della Puta Johnston. And it's way too thin. I wish that it were much, much longer, but it is very pretty. It's a very pretty thing, in a very minimalist way. And it is about Giovanni Pascoli. We're told his dates are 1855 to 1912. The founder of modern Italian poetry and one of Italy's most beloved poets, has been compared to Robert Frost for his evocation of natural speech, his bucolic settings, and the way he bridges poetic tradition and the beginnings of modernism. Okay, it goes on and on about his poetry, mixing the elevated diction of Virgil with local slang and the sounds of the natural world. These poems capture sense-laden moments. And this comes out as... oh, good, okay. Princeton is putting it out as a trade paperback and a hardcover at the same time. This paperback is $20. It's a really... you can't tell through the camera, but it's a really sturdy, well-made thing. So... maybe worth $20, especially if you can get it, with a coupon or discounted or with a bookstore membership or something like that. And they're coming out at the same time in mid-October. Great. I have a feeling that this is going to be another example of... I don't mean to sound ambivalent. Oh, wow, look at that. It's bilingual, too. Fantastic. Fantastic. Oh, that absolves it of the problem I was just going to mention. I don't mean to sound ambivalent in any way. It's just that with Pascoli, I'm going to want to read it. I'm not 100% sure that any English translation is going to appeal to me. Well, let's see here. Faraway Festival. A little endless peal swells, reverberates, as if the sounds escaping from a festival held far away behind oblivion. Well, I'll give it a try. I'll give it a try. Maybe we'll try some on Poetry Tuesday, if I'm alive, if I'm up for it. But in the meantime, that's fantastic. The two examples of translated stuff, back to back, but fantastic. Okay, and then we'll do the last box, and then we'll be done. Then we'll be done with this first mail haul of the week. I couldn't let the first mail haul of the week go, right? No matter how I was feeling. Let's see what we have here. I'm making a mess on the floor, but the surly houseboy will clean it up. Oh, okay. Once again, no pub sheet, so I don't know when this comes out, but this has got to be soon. Oh, this is also from Cornell University Press. This is I, the Poet, first person form in Horace, Catullus, and Propertius. 3 of my favorite poems. This is by Kathleen McCarthy. It's about Horace, Catullus, and Propertius. Good Lord, I'm going to read this tonight. All right, well, I'll read it straight from the book then here. First-person poetry is a familiar genre in Latin literature. Propertius, Catullus, and Horace deployed the first-person speaker in a variety of ways that either bolster or undermine the link between this figure and the poet himself. Very good. In I, the Poet, Kathleen McCarthy offers a new approach to understanding the ubiquitous use of a first-person voice in Augustan age poetry, taking on several of the central debates in the field of Latin literary studies, including the inheritance of the Greek tradition, the shift from oral performance to written collections, and the status of the poetic I voice. Okay, Steve is pleased. Steve is pleased right now with Cornell University Press, that's for sure. So we have I, the Poet, Horace, Catullus, and Propertius. Can't beat that. Then we have another poet I really like, the selected poems of Giovanni Boscoli. Then we have The Life of Alcibiades. This is 30 years old, translated for the first time, I presume, into English. Then The Christmas Spirits on Trad Street by Karen White, a kind of supernatural tinged cozy mystery. Then Bright Young Dead by Jessica Fellows in trade paperback, in a nice floppy trade paperback. Can't really tell through the camera, but well worth your time. This is a fun series. Then Slater Orchard by Darcy Denigan. This is also going to be a paperback. And The Colonel's Wife by Rosa Lixon, which is due, what did we say? This thing is something I can read. This is November, right? Yes, early November. So quite a few things on this pile here that I'm going to dig into right away. I'm going to reread Bright Young Dead, and I'm going to dig into the Alcibiades book and I, the Poet, of course, right away, unless my reading efforts are taken elsewhere, unless I expire. I'm feeling better. Thank you all for the emails that you sent. Apparently I looked and sounded like death warmed over yesterday, but I'm on the mend. So I'm going to wrap this video up, but I'll be back. Thank you, BookTube.